What's up, friends? Welcome back to my channel. Hi if you're new here. Hi if you're not. My name's Danielle. I make a ton of content here on YouTube, specifically debunking, talking about, discussing what I believe to be problematic behavior found in the life, spiritual, and business coaching spaces. If you are new here, I do have an entire playlist of over 100 videos about this topic, and you could click right here to get caught up. Now, today we're going to be reading a scam story submission. This is essentially the opportunity for those of you that watch my channel who have been negatively impacted by the coaching industry to share your story here on the channel. So if you have a scam story that you want read out on this channel, you can submit it using the Google form linked down below. Please be sure to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy. Maybe feel free to share it over on social media. We just reached 27,000 subscribers, which is super exciting. So thank you so much for being here. Shout out to our channel VIP members before we get started, as well as Reaction Therapy, Juan, Harrison, Suzanne, and Zerify in the billionaire tier. Information about the channel membership is linked at the join button down below. That's all the talking for today. Let's go ahead and jump right in. Okay, I just want to say before we get started that this individual indicates that English is not their first language and they're also dyslexic. So if there's some grammatical errors as we read through it, just keep that in mind. So the story begins. This is my story. I knew Jane from other business interactions for a long time when I reached out to ask how she healed her chronic fatigue. I hoped for some sympathetic advice. I knew she healed from her chronic fatigue years earlier, and I was going through mine for the past few months at the time. Jane gladly agreed to help and arranged a call with me, which I put hope in. But it quickly turned into a sales pitch for her very expensive €3,000 coaching program. I didn't want to spend this kind of money as I was waiting for the reply from the house offer I had just made. If it was accepted, I would need all of my savings and more for the deposit, solicitors, as well as the full house renovation which was required. But this program was supposed to fix everything in my life: health, relationships, love, finances, make the money flowing to me. What price tag one can put on that, she says. They all say that.
The product is invaluable. Think of the intangible results you're going to get.
She also made a link between my fatigue and my job. I told her I was very happy with my job, actually. Years ago, I quit my job, which she knew about, went through therapy, and came up on the other side knowing what I deserve. Good for you. As a result, I found a new job where I work from home, I have flexible hours, I work just a few hours a day, no stress, and good money. Girl, where do you work? Tell me. I need to know. That sounds like a pretty good deal. The job gives me a lot of flexibility and time to do what I care about the most: living by the mountains and traveling abroad with my laptop and working as a digital nomad as often as I feel like. Except that now I couldn't due to the debilitating fatigue post my COVID infection. Okay, before we read any further, I just want to apologize that this is your experience and that someone is taking advantage of the fact that you are facing an actual serious medical issue. Like, I am already disgusted and we're not even halfway through the story. But she started playing with my imagination. But what if you could do the very thing you love and be paid for it with a 5-figure income a month? Well, that would be just great, I replied. If you follow your soul's desire, you will heal mentally and physically, she said. Tale as old as time. We figure out what these people's vulnerabilities are. We paint them a picture as if we can solve all of those problems for them. And then we ask them,
How would that make you feel?
gross, manipulative, but I get when you're in it, you can't see it. She told me so many exciting things about the program and how it changed the lives of so many women she worked with, and that she did exactly the same program with her coach for much more than that, and now she is giving it away for peanuts. So she's claiming that she's doing you a favor by giving you a discount. Add that to the list of things I don't like about this. She said that she normally has no capacity to mentor any more women, but coincidentally, she happens to have one opening now, and there are 3 women waiting for the place. So if you want to go ahead, I need to let her know in 24 hours. She asked me what I am feeling in my body and if I am feeling a big yes. Okay, this is an aside, but if you're watching this video and you were at one point either in an MLM or were a coach, I want to know if any of your mentors ever taught you to use this like false scarcity tactic, because I know it was something I was taught. The whole like, say that you only have a limited number of spots and put that in all of your marketing. So even I think back to 2019, I was launching a like group coaching program and my coach told me to make it so that I only had 5 spots. And if I filled more than 5 spots, then I could just like create more spots. Spoiler alert, I didn't fill any of the spots actually, but I digress. I think it's a really common tactic to try and create scarcity or false sense of scarcity to entice more people to sign up. So I'm curious if anyone else has either used this tactic or been taught taught this tactic. And I'm not talking about when you like actually only have the capacity to work with a certain number of clients. I'm talking about when you're told to lie about it.
When the lie detector test determined that was a lie.
She gaslit me and I believed. I know naive, but Jane wasn't a stranger. I trusted her and I desperately needed help with my health. She also made me put my defenses down. She spoke so wisely and seemed too spiritually evolved to be untrusted. She also suggested having calls with one of her women, meaning someone she was coaching at the time. So she arranged a call between us. Her women explained to me how much Jane has changed her life and how much everything finally became amazing, etc. I wanted to believe. I needed a solution to my health issue, so I did. Okay, I think this particular part of the story is a classic example of why people fall for these kinds of scams. I know I bring this up a lot, but a lot of the times in the comments on so many of my videos, I will get people saying things like,
I don't understand why anyone could be stupid enough to fall for this.
and what I think comments like that fail to recognize is that nobody's really signing up for these programs when they're in a great place in life. It's typically when you're in like peak vulnerability, trying to find a solution for a particular problem. I actually discussed this in length in this video here. I believe it's titled something like Why People Get Scammed. So if you want to learn more about the psychology behind why people fall for this sort of thing, I would recommend you go and watch that video after this one. But I really just think that this particular part of the story speaks really well to that idea and just this concept of wanting to believe so desperately that this person is being truthful and that they can actually fix your problem. She goes on to continue, I signed up and paid the deposit, but soon after I got back to my senses and decided to withdraw. Also, my house offer got accepted at the same time and I needed the money now. Congratulations. Unfortunately, I've signed a contract with Jane already. I know, I should have spotted it as a red flag sooner. Jane didn't want to give me my money back, even though I explained my financial circumstances. But this was part of the contract. I felt gaslit and hopeless. So I became emotional, frustrated, and irritable in our conversation. I was shamed for it. I was manipulated to apologize for that. Wait. You paid for the program, you asked for a refund. She said,
You signed a contract, no refunds.
and then she made you apologize for asking for a refund. I'm sorry? Pardon me? What? I got a few words for her. As a final resource, I suggested that she could deliver the sessions up to the 800 euros I had already paid. Wait, is that euros or pounds? I think I made a Canadian mistake. Euro symbol. British pound symbol. Oh, it's not euros. It's pounds. Oops. I'm just an ignorant Canadian, okay? So she paid 800 pounds. How much is that? 800 British pounds to Canadian dollars. That's it. That's a lot of money. Okay, apologies, everyone. She also didn't agree, as I have already expressed my desire to withdraw and I was taken out of the list by her team. My message saying that I never wanted to take part in any of this and I was sold despite was interpreted as, let's take her out of the list immediately. Wait, so she didn't want to refund you, but she removed you from the list? I'm going to need more details. Jane said that it was my decision to sign up, and I know the conditions of the contract, missing completely the fact that it was done under the time pressure, having Jane messaging me a few times a day to remind me of the 24-hour deadline. She said that I followed my sole guidance to do so, so I should take ownership for my own actions. And now my own fears have come to the surface and I am projecting them onto her. And that now, from people pleaser, I am becoming the opposite extreme rebellious, which is equally unhealthy. And I have chosen not to enter the space of healing with her, and that she will not accept this kind of energy. And then she unfriended me on Facebook. I have ended up losing 800 pounds as well as I got blamed, shamed, and left confused, wondering if I did something wrong, all in the name of serving my deepest good and loving my lost soul deeply in my confusion. In all of that, there was one thing I did agree with Jane. She is a witch. Oh my God. So you're saying the program was supposed to be 3,000 pounds. You paid an 800-pound deposit. Then you asked for a refund. She said no, but she kicked you out of the program anyway. So you didn't even get anything for the 800 pounds you spent, the $1,400 Canadian. That's a lot of money to get nothing. Okay, and then she also included a few of the messages that the coach sent her. So we're going to read those. Okay, so it looks like the first message here is from when the client first asked for a refund. It says, hello, darling. I want you to know that you are loved unconditionally in whatever is arising for you here. And you also need to know that I am not available for you to project your triggers onto me in the way you have in leaving. There is a deep healing here for you if you will let it in and commit to what your soul has guided you here to for healing. Are you willing to own this as your trigger and look here with love? This is giving cult. Allegedly, in my opinion. I'm not feeling anything even remotely submissive about your energy at all, darling. What I suspect you're talking to here is that you've been in the shadow of people pleasing and now you've swung to the opposite end of the same pole into rebellion, neither of which are very loving or healing. You've done nothing but project onto me, which I'm not available for anymore. So if you reply in the same way, I won't be responding. There was so much opportunity for alchemy here if you'd chosen it. It can't feel very nice to stay in that fear defending against the world. Things that come up for us in a process are usually triggers, and the deep invitation is to move through them. It is not true, ref the pressure from me. You chose into this after talking to previous clients. Okay, so this is her skirting the responsibility for the client actually signing up. Presumably, the client is saying,
You sold to me even when I was in a vulnerable place.
and the coach is not taking accountability and is saying,
No, you chose to sign up after you talked to my client, so that's on you.
this is a conversation that I have a lot of feelings about. The whole idea of like taking personal responsibility. Yes, it's important, but if you're being manipulated, are you really able to take personal responsibility for making a decision you didn't make with a clear mind? I have a lot of thoughts. I did a video about it. You can click here to watch it. So then, presumably, after this is when the client had said she was manipulated into apologizing. This was the coach's response. Hello, love. Okay, can we stop with the darling, the love, the blah, blah, blah? I hate it. I hate the terms of endearment being used when you're in a position of authority. Very, very, I don't like it. Thank you for your apology. I deeply acknowledge your courage in sharing this and loving you here. The deeper invitation for you here in all of this has been to see that all of this is being created from your lack of trust. This has arisen for you to be able to choose to heal, but instead you have projected your mistrust into me as if I am a monster trying to con you out of money, which absolutely is not true. I do not operate in sales techniques, only soul alignment, and at times I have turned women away because it is not aligned or serving to work with them. I would love to see it. I would love to see the receipts of you turning people away to work from you, because from what I'm hearing from this person, they told you they didn't have the money to work with you, but then you told them to work with you anyway. And so if you're turning people away, who are those people and why are you turning them away? Because I don't know. I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it. At the time of your enrollment, I also had 3 other women who wanted the final spaces, so you claimed one of the last spots. It really didn't serve me in any way to enroll you against your will. You chose it because you felt it would be serving for your deepening into your own wisdom and because it would help you with your vision of alchemizing your body wounding and would be helpful to keep momentum in our work between now and August. I feel like some of these more spiritual-esque coaches use their perception of like being enlightened as a means of skirting responsibility. That's how it comes off to me anyway. Though you are calmer here, you are still projecting and blaming me, going around in unconscious fear of being violated by people instead of taking any ownership of your own choices and opening to receive the love that is here for you. In your message, you made it clear that you are choosing out of it all by expressing that you never wanted to be a part in any of it, referencing the £3,000 total fee. It appeared here you were choosing out fully. What did you mean by this, if not that? All my love, Jane. Okay, and then the last message, honey, this was never about me. This was about serving you. And ironically, feminine mystery would have helped you to heal all of this deep mistrust you have of other people scamming you. If you'd allowed yourself to open and see that not everyone is trying to control you, when you said you never wanted to take part in any of it, referencing the £3,000 total fee, that was a clear choosing out of one-on-one, which I've honored and I've already asked my team to remove you from our system. Okay, but is she going to get the deposit back? Also, if you have 3 other women that want to fill the final spot, then why wouldn't you just give this lady a refund and fill the spot with one of the 3 other women? Oh, maybe because there aren't any 3 other women, allegedly, I would assume, possibly, potentially, in my opinion. Okay, and now we're going back to the actual client. They concluded their story by saying this. I wanted to add this in the end of this email that since then I have experienced or witnessed the spiritual gaslighting using spiritual enlightened jargon, which is exactly what I was just talking about, on several occasions. It's scary to see what form of gaslighting has taken these days and that there is so much scamming in spiritual circles while the intention was the exact opposite. Feeling safe, yourself and surrounded by people who are self-aware. And absolutely, I agree. I think Particularly, I see it a lot in like the woo-woo spiritual space when people approach their messaging from this sense of like feeling as though they are enlightened. Like,
I would never project my feelings onto someone else.
they can use that as a way of making you or the client feel guilty for your very valid behaviors. I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. I really hope that you were able to get that $800 back. I also just like hope for the day that these people will recognize that if someone is telling you they no longer want to work with you and you haven't rendered any service, just give them their money back. I think I've said this in some of my earlier content, but I've never been able to understand the mentality of essentially backing someone into a corner and forcing them to work with you. Like if I'm a coach and we get on a sales call and you're kind of like on the fence, and then I use high pressure sales tactics and get you to sign up for my program and you pay me $2,000, and then tomorrow you call me and you say,
You know what, Danielle? I actually regret that decision. I don't want to buy it.
and then I force you to stay in the program, how can I, as the coach, believe that we're going to have a healthy and productive coaching relationship if you don't even want to be there? I'm basically forcing you to be there at this point. I don't know. I'm never going to understand that mentality. Anyway, thank you so much to the individual who shared this. I really do appreciate that people feel safe enough to share their experiences. And I think that in sharing experiences like this, it's helpful for other people who potentially end up in similar situations in future to recognize the red flags and to kind of know what language to look out for. And so your stories are so integral in this mission of consumer protection and helping people to avoid getting scammed in the future. Again, if you have a story you want to submit, the form to do so is linked down below. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you're not already. And in case you missed it, I will leave you on screen here with a video I did last month where a viewer shared some pretty wild messages they got in their DMs on Instagram. You're not going to want to miss it. Click right here. Take care, comb your hair, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!